It was raining that morning, the kind of rain that presses against hospital windows like a hand that doesn't want to let go. Outside, London moved on, unaware that history was about to breathe its last in one small room. The Duke of Kent was 89, and he was dying. His breathing came in shallow pulls. Each exhale felt like it carried a century. The white sheets swallowed his frame, but his eyes were alive. "Is she here?" he whispered. The nurse nodded. "She's coming, Your Grace." Pause, a faint hum of distant thunder. Catherine's footsteps echoed down the corridor. She'd been summoned in a way no royal summons ever came, privately, urgently, and without a single official seal. She pushed the door open. The Duke's face lit with the ghost of a smile. "You came," he said. "You asked," she replied softly, stepping closer. Narration: 4 years the Duke had been a shadow figure in the monarchy, always there, always silent, always watching, but on this morning the shadow was ready to speak. "I haven't much time," he began, "and what I tell you must never see the light until it's too late for them to stop it." Catherine hesitated. "Them?" He coughed, a dry, rattling cough. "The ones who keep the Queen's last command buried. The ones who'd see the diamond locked away forever." Her brow furrowed. "What diamond?" Narration: that was when his trembling hand reached beneath the blanket. When it came back up, it held a small, velvet pouch, no crest, no emblem, just plain black. "Open it," he said. She did, and there it was, a pink diamond, not the soft blush of a common stone, but the burning rose of something almost alive. That it caught the hospital light and fractured it into 1,000 whispers of color. "It's beautiful," Catherine breathed. "It's dangerous," the Duke replied. Narration: the story he began to tell stretched back decades to a time when the Queen was young, and the Empire was older than it had any right to be. "It was Botswana, 1973, he said, voice barely more than a thread. "The Queen was there on a state visit. I was with her, and she saw it. This very stone, in the hands of a tribal elder who claimed it had passed through bloodlines older than Britain itself." "What did she do?" Catherine asked. "She bought it," the Duke said. "But not for the crown. Not for the treasury. She bought it for the future Queen Consort. Whichever woman would one day stand beside the king and keep the monarchy alive." "But she never gave it away," Catherine said. "No," the Duke whispered, "because she made a command, that it should only be given when the monarchy itself was in peril. And Catherine," his eyes fixed on her, "that time is now." Narration: the words hung in the air like smoke. Catherine's pulse quickened as she'd been a duchess, a princess, and now a future queen, but never had she felt the weight of history quite like this. "What peril?" she asked. The Duke's gaze drifted toward the window. Division. Within. Without. "The crown is not a fortress anymore, it is a candle in the wind. There are forces, and I'm not talking about politicians, that want that candle snuffed out." She shook her head. "This sounds like a conspiracy?" he cut in, almost smiling. "Yes, but sometimes conspiracies are only truths we haven't the stomach to swallow." Narration: he told her of a sealed letter, written by the Queen herself in her final months. A letter hidden in Windsor, in a drawer no one dared open. A letter naming the diamond, naming its purpose, and naming Catherine as the one to carry it. "She chose you," the Duke said, voice breaking. "Not for who you are to William, but for who you are to the people. You've kept them believing." Her throat tightened. "I'm not ready for this." "Neither was she," he murmured. "But she learned, as you will." Narration: the monitors beside him beeped steadily, but slower now. There was a weight in the room that made even the nurse step back. "What do I do with it?" Catherine asked, her voice almost breaking. "You keep it hidden," he said, "until the night comes when you have no choice but to show it. And when you do, make sure it's in the light." She didn't understand. Not fully, but something in his tone told her she would. The Duke's eyes closed. One final breath, and then silence. Narration: outside, the rain stopped, Inside, Catherine stood alone, holding the pouch. The weight of it was not just the diamond, it was the command of a queen who no longer breathed, passed through the hands of a man who had just joined her. She slipped the pouch into her coat and walked out of the room without looking back. The world saw nothing that day, but history had just shifted in the shadows. It was the night before a state dinner. Rumors swirled in the press about fractures inside the royal household. One headline even dared to suggest abdication. Catherine sat in her study, the pouch before her. She'd thought of burying it, of locking it in the vault and forgetting, but then she heard his voice in her memory, when you have no choice but to show it. Dialogue, whispered to herself, maybe that time is now. The dinner was a glittering affair, cameras, ministers, dignitaries, the world watching. Halfway through the evening, as speeches were made, Catherine stood, her hand reached into her dress pocket, and under the blinding light of the chandeliers, she placed the pink diamond on the table before her. The room fell silent. Narration, every camera flashed, every voice stilled. In that moment, the world saw something it had never seen before, a stone of such impossible beauty, held in the hands of a future queen who looked like she had just declared war on secrecy itself. Dialogue, Catherine, steady and clear, this was the queen's gift. Not to me, not to the crown, but to all who believe in its promise, and as long as I live, it will remain in the light. Narration, some said it was a stunt, some said it was madness, but to those who understood, it was the fulfillment of a hidden command, a thread of history finally pulled into daylight. Somewhere, in the quiet of memory, the Duke of Kent was smiling, and in the diamond's fire, the monarchy flickered on.